Properties team, Crumpets. My name is Gloria S. Crump, the Queen of Real Estate at Coastal Ridge Realty Group. And today I have Sean Russell with XL Beach Service. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Gloria.
You're welcome. And he actually drove all the way from Destin this morning, so I feel very privileged.
Yes.
So thank you. And so your headquarters is based out of Destin.
Based out of Destin, Florida. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about the XL Beach Service.
Yeah, so, a little bit of introductory for me. So I'm Sean Russell. I'm head of operations. We service 11 different properties from Watercolor out in Florida to Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Y'all covered Panhandle.
That's right. And part of my job is to really oversee all of our guys, all of our teams, how we're operating really across the board. But XL Beach Service primarily focuses on the beach experience beyond the dune line. And what I mean by that is every service, every property that we service, yes, we focus on umbrellas and beach chairs, but we're always looking at what added value can we give to this property that's going to stand out amongst the rest.
I think that's awesome because it really is an experience for your customers. When we go to the beach, it's not just sitting there. It's actually like, how can we make their stay more enjoyable, more memorable, and comfortable?
Correct.
So I think that's awesome. And now y'all been in business for quite some time.
Yes.
I know it's kind of shifts gears in certain ways. And so when did y'all actually start?
Yeah, so there's a lot of history to it. So the owner, Chris Trafton, and myself, we were the ones with the long hair on the beach, back in the day when
doing the manual labor.
Yes, when we actually met.
Yeah.
And Chris has a very entrepreneurial mind, and so he's always wanted to create something for himself. And it started out as water sports, but it quickly turned into beach chair and umbrellas. And my career took me in a different direction in the Air Force. And so for about 12 years, he and I were progressing in different areas. And there was a pinnacle moment where it actually brought us back together. So long story short, I had my third child in Minot, North Dakota.
Oh, wow.
And
far cry from here.
Yes, negative 55. And watching that, we felt that our time had been served.
Yes.
And so with that, it was kind of this full circle moment where I looked back and said, what do I want for my family? Well, during that whole 12 years, Chris has been building really this awesome team that really started as a one-man team where he's doing deliveries to then servicing properties and being able to hire employees. And as I'm seeing my buddy do this, I'm seeing him grow his family as well. And I said, you know what, that's something that I would like to partner with.
Yeah.
He opened up a spot, and so I was able to come on the team. But during that time as well, he brought on Brandon Cordum, who's chief of operations, and he primarily oversees our Gulf Shores area, along with Perdido Key.
Yeah.
And full circle moment, Chris, owner and operator, Brandon, chief operator, and myself, we all went to school to Choctawhatchee High School in Fort Walton, but we never hung out. And now all of a sudden, we're doing business
partners
together.
in business. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like we were talking about, it's always great to be in business or start businesses with people you've known for quite some time because obviously you just know their background. You know if they're going to be a great fit for you or not.
Sure.
So I think that's awesome. And y'all have actually grown. Like you said, Chris started with a one-man deal. Now y'all have almost 50 employees.
Correct. Yeah, I view Chris as he used to be the guy who was playing the harmonica, beating the drum, and with the cymbals on his knee, trying to make it work, and putting in 40,000 steps a day, doing delivery service, and then transitioning into wanting to really create not only a team but more of a family. And so now you get to see this man, Chris Trafton, who once was the 20-year-old up in the chairs, raise up young men and young women to be able to perform this job, and that's been really cool. That's
awesome. That's great that y'all. I mean, and it's great because it started around 2011. So I mean, y'all have really grown, and I mean that's considering the way even with COVID and things of that nature. I mean that takes a lot of slows down sometimes progress, and it sounds like it really hasn't with y'all. So that's awesome. And then, so what other products do y'all rent out besides the beach chair and the umbrellas? We talked a little bit about some other options that you provide.
Sure,
that might stand apart from other companies.
Absolutely. So There's a couple things that we try to do to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
One is we offer water sports. Now that is fairly common in the beach service game. It's pretty easy to buy a couple paddle boards and kayaks and have it just stationed at each location. And what that does, it allows people to, especially because we service a lot of family-oriented resorts.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that parents and children are able to have a good time, but to do it together and connect together. So water sports is something that's a must for us.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that really are exclusive to us that many beach services don't do is we're one of the only dip and dot vendors in Destin, Florida.
Well, hopefully y'all can make it happen over here too.
Yes, so we're gonna bring that here,
Yeah.
and that creates a fun experience because, you know, I remember growing up, dip and dots.
Yeah.
Dip and dots is right below us.
Exactly.
Everyone
right
loves
here
dip and
below
dots.
us. Yep.
So that's a cool, unique feature for us. But then also, we offer side tables, and
I think
first,
this is great.
yeah, thank you.
For cocktails.
Yeah, at first glance, it kind of seems like, okay, this should be here. It belongs here.
Yeah.
But then you quickly realize most beach services don't offer the side table.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot to lug those tables up and down the beach. There's a lot of moving parts. They can break. You have to refurbish them at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But for us, again, it's that experience. It's not the product that we're giving over so much as the experience. And, you know, when we are out there enjoying the sunset, we got to have a place to put our drinks.
I know people might not realize it until they don't have it, and they're like, "Wow, this would be really helpful." So I think that's actually really good. And it's kind of funny how you don't see it more than you do, but that makes sense. It just takes time. Obviously, things break. It costs money at the end of the day. But I love the fact that y'all are more interested in instead of the money aspect, you're more interested in the experiences. Because like I was saying, sales always follows.
Correct.
If the people are happy.
We believe the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Treating clients like royalty. So there you go. And then on the water sports, it's the stand-up paddleboards and the kayaks. Correct. And those are actually at every property that y'all have the beach service.
Those are at every location, and that way, again, it's just an option for the people that we service to give them an experience.
To do, for sure. And then actually, y'all said that y'all do a VIP experience.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I like that.
So to go along,
I think I'm very important. So.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. To go along with the side tables for Gloria and her, nice cocktail
I like
drink.
to have my cocktails.
We also offer a VIP experience, and here's why this is really unique to us and why this is really cool for everyone. One of the worst things about the job is to have to tell people you have to sit in the second or third row, and then pay the same to have a lesser experience. So understanding that, we really wanted to get ahead of this problem. So what we did is we purchased some oversized umbrellas that are about 3 times the size of our normal umbrellas. So we can put about 4 chairs underneath there for more of a group setting, but also we offer loungers there for anybody who wants to be able to lay out in the sun, enjoy a kickback, more of a reclined aspect.
Oh, yes.
And so that way, we don't put those on the front or the second, we put that on the very last row. And sometimes people actually prefer to not be waterfront, but to be back there.
To have that experience. Well, it's great for people who have small children or just a group, like you were saying, and people can kind of all congregate, and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So I actually like that. Kind of turn a negative into a positive.
We try to, yeah.
I think that's awesome. I love it. And then another thing that I thought was really neat that y'all offers in the Destin area is sunset service.
Correct. So this is something new that we've been doing. When you sign on with a new property, one of the battles is, okay, we've got to figure out what are the hours going to be? What are the hours of operation? Now, if you're talking to the beach guys, the actual attendants, they want to be off the beach as quickly as they can because they have to rinse and repeat the next day. But when you talk to the guests in the properties, they're saying, well, hey, we want to stay out as late as we can because, again, one of the worst aspects of the job is having to tell someone who's enjoying the sunset, who maybe is enjoying happy hour, to say, hey, we have to take up the equipment. So to alleviate that, what we did was we played around with an idea of what if we did one night out of the week where our guys stayed late, allowed the customers to experience sunset in that time with their family, and create an experience where the customer can come and say, I've got 5 nights here, one of these is allocated strictly to the sunset time.
I think that's awesome.
And then to do that well, we believe, is to make sure that we believe that that's something that we don't have to profit on. And so what we did was we've tried this out at certain locations and it's worked wonderfully. where it's just $20 extra for that one night if you'd like to stay. Our beach attendant stays there and closes up after sunset. The property gets an elevated experience, and that money doesn't go to us, it goes to our team. So whoever worked that beach receives those profits, and that way you have morale high for the team, along with created a unique experience for the guests.
Yeah, I think that's awesome because, I mean, let's get real, sometimes in the heat of the summer, I like to go out there when the sun's starting to go down. It's more enjoyable, and I think that's neat because I've not heard anyone else do that, so I think that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so y'all actually, like prices, y'all do charge, per day, but y'all also offer weekly rates as well as seasonal.
We do.
Okay, and then on the weekly, it's for 6 days, and then you actually pay for 5 and get the 6 for free?
Correct. So what we typically do, probably your most typical reservation is a 6-day reservation. A little bit of travel on the front and back end, so they need some days in between. So what we do is we try to give them 5 days and give them the 6-day free. And that's something that we can do to help them with the understanding that, hey, again, price is a huge aspect of experience, and we never want to be the leaders in price. We never want to be the most expensive. We never want to be the cheapest, but we want to be what is relative to the area and to that experience. So what we try to do is, beyond that, we offer seasonal plans to some of our resorts, and it gives a massive discounted rate for a seasonal beach chair service so that they can offer it to their guests as they rent out their room.
And I think that's great for people who do rent their properties out, because you're trying to stand out among your competition, just like with listings. It's the same with rentals. So I think that's awesome that y'all offer a seasonal package, because owners can, they're going to come down and enjoy their units, but then they can also allow that and use that as an incentive to get people to rent through them.
Absolutely. Versus
the unit next door to them. So I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do. I think that's really neat. And so what other things would you like to tell people that sets y'all apart? I mean, we have obviously talked a lot about things, but just something that people can take away from this with XL Beach Service.
Yeah, Gloria, I think the biggest thing for us is I've been with the company now for over a year as I step out of the military, and so with my previous role as a chaplain in the military, I've had the luxury of viewing life through the lens of people and families. When I came on board with Chris, what I realized very quickly was his passion and his heart for doing what he does. And one of the things that you'll quickly learn in mine and Chris's relationship, if you hang out with us, is I'm almost the communicator to his mind, and sometimes he doesn't have to say anything. So
you can read minds. Not many men can, so that's definitely a plus.
I appreciate that. So with that, when I came on board, I quickly found out, Chris and I have a unique past and upbringing, and it wasn't one that was afforded with a lot of extras, to put it fairly and nicely. And what we realized was our time in the beach together really solidified a moment in our lives as young men becoming men. And so very quickly, I realized that Chris's passion for business is not to just be an entrepreneur and to create something for his own. His heart and thrust behind everything has been business is simply a means to changing lives.
I think that's awesome.
So for us, if I were to say anything to anybody about XL, it's more than a business, it's a family, because we get to come alongside young men and young women and help them in a world that's very confusing right now.
Oh, for sure.
To help them move on in whatever dreams and desires and value systems and traditions that they have.
I think that's awesome. I like the fact that your business model and just outlook goes beyond the dollars. It's to really help other people, not just the people you're servicing, but also your employees.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I think that speaks highly of y'all. So,
thanks, Gloria.
Well, yes. Well, I appreciate you coming, and hopefully you'll be taking over some more properties. And
we would love to.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate y'all watching. And we'll have contact information at the end of the video, so that way if y'all have questions about their services or the other properties that they covered, then you'll be able to reach out to them. Thank you for watching.